Trojan fans, welcome to another edition of the Peristyle Podcast. I'm your host, Ryan Abraham, joined alongside by my partner in crime, the coach, Harvey Hyde. You can follow him on all of his social medias at Coach Harvey Hyde, or go to his website, harveyhyde.com, for all of his content. We got to talk about a USC road win in the Big Ten. Yes, it's a rare one, but the Trojans did get a victory over the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Blackout. We're going to talk about all that. 21-17. I was back there in Lincoln, Nebraska. It was a great environment. We're going to talk about that and the game and what it means. USC going to the home stretch, 3 more home games and 1 road one, and still in the hunt for a college football playoff berth if the Trojans can win out. If you have a question for the show, podcast at uscfootball.com is our email address, or you could call or text us at 424-254-9141. If you're listening, wherever you're listening, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, you can leave us a 5-star rating for the Peristyle Podcast there. We appreciate that. And reviews are awesome too. You can review on Apple or on Spotify. You can leave comments about our individual shows. And this is an individual show that I enjoy because I get to talk to my longtime friend, Coach Harvey Hyde. Coach, welcome in. How are you doing, sir?
Hey, I'm doing pretty good. I don't know if you noticed or not, but I'm having a blackout today.
Blackout. Love it.
I wore my black shirt because you had to get back. I wanted you to recognize me. You saw so much black back there, the black end on the field, the black end zones, everything black. So I thought today I'd wear my black shirt here as a blackout. The coaching staff from USC all wore black. So I thought I'd just sit here today and be comfortable with you. I know it's a busy trip and a busy weekend for you and a big victory for the Trojans. Congratulations to them to get that road win there in a hostile environment, let's say. 86,000, 400 straight sellouts or some unbelievable amount.
Yes.
Which means there's not much to do in Nebraska. But, it's a win. It means a lot to those people. And for the Trojans to go back there, I think it's a road show on the road for them. It's Taylor Swift in Lincoln. It's whatever you want to say. It's the biggest event in the state during the entire football season. So congratulations to the Trojans. And I want to reach out to the Dodgers. I want to reach out and congratulate them and say they had a remarkable season and a tremendous World Series, one of the most enjoyable baseball World Series I've seen in my lifetime. And again, I'm not really a baseball fan. I just like to watch great athletes play. But the thing that sort of gets to me is today they're having their celebration. And you know how I do. I voice myself on everything.
You do.
They're having the parade, which is fabulous, okay? And then they go to the stadium, and here are the fans that have come all year supporting them, cheering for them, taking today off of work, and the kids not going to school. I mean, all of these things, if they did work, they're taking a day off to celebrate what the Dodgers have done and congratulate the players and so on.
Sure.
And the organization charges them $35 for parking and charges them for tickets to go into this celebration. A lot of the people who never had tickets, could never afford to go to a Dodger game, who supports them and so on, or whatever, and they have the you-know-what to charge these people money to go to the celebration. I've heard it all.
Yeah.
I've heard it all. And for you Dodger people in there at the front office, maybe you can live with yourself. But I couldn't live with myself with that.
Got to afford that roster, Coach. We're not a Dodgers podcast, obviously, but something you touched on, it was the biggest event in the state. And if you guys are watching on YouTube, we are recording this and putting on YouTube. I put a photo up of, this was from my view in the press box of the blackout. It was really impressive to me. Just about everybody in the stadium wearing black. They repainted the field black. The band was wearing black. Like, everybody was wearing black. It was to get someone in Southern California, to get everyone, 86,000 people, to do something, there's no way. This would not happen. But like you said, Coach, it was the most important event in the state. And I think for any USC fans out there that are like, well, USC played crappy and blah, 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 like, to understand, that's a proud program, 5 national championships, 3 and 4 years in the late 90s, not that long ago. This meant a lot. For us, the covering USC, we're in the press box afterwards watching the Dodgers World Series. Like, there's a lot of stuff going on in Los Angeles. To me, this was like, hey, you went into somebody's house that wanted this more than anything. And neither team, I don't think, played the cleanest game, of course. But you got a really tough, gritty win. So I would take that into kind of consideration, that you weren't playing you could say how good or bad Nebraska is, and we'll see. They were 6-2 at the time. But they definitely cared about that game. Like, they put a lot into trying to will the team to a victory with everything that was going on. And, for you saying, like, it's the only game in town, it is the only game in town. They have, like, Nebraska women's basketball. Women's, like, volleyball and stuff people care about. But just, it was so weird, Coach, to all the LA people. You're also watching your team in the World Series that night in the craziest Game 7, just after, this game where, for the people in Nebraska, like, that was it. This was the game. So I would take it with a grain of salt as far as, like, hey, it's an important win for USC. So that's just what I wanted to say.
It's a big win, but again, you got to look at the game. You just mentioned, I don't know if both teams played well. Notre Dame lost its quarterback in the second half. And I can't believe a team. I'm sorry. Nebraska. Okay. Well, you know what I mean. I'm thinking about things. No. Yeah. Nebraska loses its quarterback. And it sort of took a lot out of their offense, completely. A lot out of their offense. Not that I think he's a great player. But it's disappointing that a program like that doesn't have somebody else who can come in and move that offense better than what they did. And again, you've got to look at how good is Nebraska without a quarterback? Here they're playing UCLA this coming weekend in the Rose Bowl, and UCLA's a 5.5-point favorite over Nebraska. So how good was that victory as far as what type of team do they have? Now, they have a great tradition, but I think they're still struggling to get to that level of who Nebraska is and who we remember Nebraska as, with Bob Devaney and Tom Osborne. And the blackout is something that's tremendous for fans to do. That's what it means for them to do, and they want that team to win that game. But again, you got to be realistic, and you got to say, well, look at their non-league schedule. It's very similar to what USC's was as far as some of the preseason games, and who have they beat in conference? And nobody really that's very good. Purdue, Michigan State.
The Cincinnati win is good. The Cincinnati win is good.
Yeah, no, Cincinnati's a pretty good win. Yeah, pretty good win. So, I don't want people to get too fired up, but there's still a ways to go. And what identity would you say USC football team is? Tell me something. What is their identity? I want to look at them and say, are they a running football team? Who should be the most valuable player? If I'm in the sports information department at USC, you know what I'm pushing? King Miller as my player. King Miller, not anybody else. And the way the offensive line has matured came along and making an opportunity for King Miller to be a player. Yeah, that's what I'm looking at.
No, I agree with you, Coach. USC's offensive identity, I think it was, just identity in general. They were a very elite offense, and they didn't show that as much in the Nebraska game. It was Jane Mayava's worst game. King Miller was the MVP for sure. And I thought he bounced back. His very first start was at Notre Dame. He ran the ball really hard. Let me pull up his numbers here real quick. He was 18 attempts, 129 yards, and a touchdown, 7.2 yard average per carry. That was only a long of 16 yards. So, it wasn't like he broke off some big one. He was just really effective running the football. And I don't know about this, but I think USC's run it pretty consistently this year outside of the Notre Dame game. But I would say, running the football with the offensive line that's had a different look just about every week, and they still end up playing well. That's probably where USC's identity is right now, Coach.
I would say it's the running game. It's what I would go to if I had a big down and a big play to do and so on. And who are we trying to trick at USC? What's all this trickery about on the first play of the game? What are we trying to say? That we have to trick you to beat you? Hey, line up and be who you are and run what you practice every play, every day. How many times have you practiced that play? I mean, come on. I mean, when I saw that, I said, wait a minute. And then the opening drive, which they ran down the field, they drove right down the field. They get to the 5-yard line or 3-yard line, and they throw the ball on first and second down after they run right down the field. I say, oh, wait a minute. What are you doing to me? I was just commending you on the way you were driving down the field after that trick play, and you do that. And, I start to think about it. And I tell you what I think about it. I think he's got to keep the receivers happy. I think that if they're not touching the football and you're driving down the field running the football, that it's taking away a little bit of their image of being a great passing team, and we score so many touchdowns. Why would you even put them in that position? I would think that the W is more important than any stat. That let's win this football game. Let's don't worry about who gets how many carries, and let's don't worry about how many passes I catch or whatever. Let's get in the end zone. Let's get in there and do. See, I'm still wanting and looking at the potential of what USC can be with the great players they have. There was no comparison in my mind on who had the best players on that field. I don't know. Maybe everybody else is guessing. But I'm not guessing. I know. And when you put too much pressure on your quarterback and he's having a bad night, that means he had a lot of pressure on him in that atmosphere where he didn't perform. But the running game made it easier for him. And I think he had more fun running the quarterback keeps than he did passing the football. And I think that opened up the offense where the running game continued to move. And if the play action pass is there, you can use it and become a better offensive football team. That's all I'm saying. And go under center when you're down there on the goal line and do the bush push or whatever you want to call that stuff. And I mean, you got a quarterback that's 6'5", 230 pounds that can run, and he doesn't go down easy. He doesn't like to slide really. Hey, let him be the kid. Let him be who he is. Don't try to push him to become a great NFL #1 draft choice quarterback now as he's trying to mature and be a part of your team and help you win.
Hey, Coach, on that note, I would say for Jade Mayava, it was his worst game as a Trojan. I mean, look at his numbers were not good. 9 of 23, 135 yards, and a pick. He did have a rushing touchdown. Dylan Raiola, before he went out, he was 10 of 15 for just 91 yards, and he had that TD. And then when TJ Lateef came in, he was 5 of 7 for 7 yards. So not good. It was a really bad completion percentage for Mayava, but just passing in general was tough there. And Nebraska's pass defense coming into the game was really good. They're only averaging, I think, 4.5 yards per attempt for opposing quarterbacks. And Mayava came into the game averaging over 10 yards an attempt. Is there something you saw that just was it the cold, or is it just something the way the game was going? Like, why do you think the passing game was so hard to get going, especially explosive plays? You just didn't see them.
Well, I think you said it. First of all, they're pretty good in the secondary. They don't have the athletes in the secondary, but they're very well coached in the secondary, and they've done it very well, especially against opponents they've played. I don't know how well their opponents have thrown the football. You got to look about who they played. You had Jade Mayava, he was one of the leading passers in the country, but he got how many yards against Georgia State and Georgia Southern and Purdue and some of these teams? Stats don't tell a story. So when you go against a good football team, you have different challenges and so on, and they're sound. So why throw the football at them when you can run the football at them, which they did, and then make your passing game go? And he just was sharp. He wasn't sharp, and I think he pressured too much, and he pushed himself so much. And I'm still trying to figure out who talks to him on the bench during the game. What are they doing when the defense has the football? Who is communicating with him and saying everything is good, do this, or you didn't do that right? Did you look over your shoulder and see that the deep corner may have been open or whatever? Don't force the football. Don't be afraid to throw it out of bounds. Don't take a sack. Don't throw the ball away. Things that are, say, helpful. Give him confidence. So maybe that's not my way of coaching. Maybe that's not their way of coaching. But he's the type of kid that I think that needs reinforcement, okay? I see the players doing it to him. Reinforcement. He's a good kid. He wants to win more than anybody, but you got to give him the confidence and encouragement that he's doing the right thing. We're going to run the football. We'll set you up and all of that type of stuff. So, I mean, I'm a psychology type of guy. I mean, I like to talk to my players. I like them to be able to come and ask me a question. I don't like to, I want them to say, Coach, did I do the right thing? Or no, but what do you think I ought to call? I'm this sort of coach that used to like to coach like this. And I think that, down the road, I'm going to tell you, USC has the ability to win every single game, okay? They have the ability to win every single game if they continue to do the things that they can do well and improve on the things they don't do very well. And that's running series, and that's stretching the field, and that's building in confidence in their running game. I'm going to tell you, that offensive line really played a good football game as far as they blocked. And I'm going to give credit to the tight ends. Tight ends didn't catch any passes that I know of. I can't remember. But they block like hell. Okay, they made those holes by kicking out and coming around and sealing to the inside, doing things that gave King Miller the opportunity to run well and get those stats. He would, if nobody blocked, he wouldn't get those plays, okay? But they blocked well together. The counter sweep looked good. It all went together with the fake counter sweep pass action. They had a rhythm going. So continue that rhythm. Don't get away from that rhythm. And make them stop that stuff before you force things at them. Don't force things at them. Make them stop what you have, and then something else will be there.
Well, Coach, I think a lot of the USC fans, and I've met a bunch of them, people. We went to Barry's bar in Lincoln, Nebraska, apparently the largest bar in the state of Nebraska, and a lot of USC fans were there, and talked to some younger ones, and they were big fans of yours, and they liked the approach and everything. And I think they'll like to hear, you thinking this team's identity starts up front with, with the run game and the offensive line. They've played really well. They blocked well, and I think the tight ends have played well, even in a game where they're not catching touchdowns like they do in a lot of the games. Still open up holes and helping things out. So I think they're going to like that. So weird offensive game as far as USC goes. They've been put up a lot of points, not as much on the road. Defensively, though, I wanted to get your thoughts, what was going on over there. I thought Desmond Stevens played well. We did see Emmett Johnson go for 165 yards. And, again, similar to King Miller, he didn't have, them huge breakaway runs, but he had a lot of success. But just most of and they didn't get after the quarterback. They had the one big sack fumble that ended up hurting Dylan Raiola. But this is a team that gave up a lot of sacks, but I thought they got the ball out pretty quickly to avoid the pass rush from USC. But there was a lot of underneath stuff, back shoulder throws, just things that they were just trying to get the ball out quickly. And, they kept this a one-score game. This never was more than a one-score game, which it seemed like Nebraska was going to blow it open, and they never ended up doing that. But what did you think overall? I know Lincoln Riley was very complimentary of how the defense played. What were your thoughts on how USC's defense performed?
Well, you evaluate who they played against and how good the offense was you played against. And I think they played good with the 11 guys in the second quarter or the second half. The quarterback you knew can't throw the football, and they just wanted to get through the game. I mean, good kid from Orange Lutheran, but he wasn't prepared to do anything but hand the football off. But as far as the first half was concerned, as far as I thought they played better, I thought the linebackers filled better. I think that they are trying to adjust and be where they're supposed to be. I thought they were a little bit more sound than what they had been in the previous games. They're playing hard, okay? They're playing hard, but they're having trouble getting to the places they're supposed to be. And that's because they're either stepping up and not scraping and going to the gap they have. They're getting cut off. They're making some tackles on the line of scrimmage, the linebackers, and some aren't. And you can see what a defense will do when you stop the play before it gets started. It's very discouraging, and now you're in a long down situation. I think they tried to nickel dime the passing game. I don't know if they're a very good offensive football team, but the defense did well enough to win. And they're trying hard. It's just hard for me to tell what they'll do against a great offensive team. I don't think they played against a great offensive team the whole year. I don't think Notre Dame is a great offensive football team. I think they're a great power football team. Well, you better line up and you better be ready to play in the trenches. I don't think C.J. Carr is the greatest quarterback. He's not athletic. And if they had a great athletic quarterback, what makes great teams athletic? And if you look at the top teams in the country today, every one of them have a athletic, great throwing quarterback. And you have to be, he's your 12th man on the field. And when you can run and pass and do it all at the same time, and if the play isn't there, you say, oh my gosh, there he goes for 30 yards or whatever. You've got to give him that freedom, and a lot of these universities with these type of players are doing that. And if they aren't, they're running different type of systems that fit the style of what their quarterback is. I'm not afraid to see Jaden run the football. I think he should run the football. He's a big, strong kid. Yes, you don't want to get him hurt, but yes, you want to win football games, and you want to be able to make everybody else be successful. It'll bring the defensive backs up and have to tackle more. It'll make your offensive receivers understand that they're a blocker as well as they are a receiver. I think you've got to get that in everybody's mind. Not that they haven't blocked well, but the W and the stat isn't what's important. What's important that everybody is running the same play every time. And everybody is giving 100% every time. And if it isn't the running game that's winning, it's the passing game that's winning. They put everybody in the box, and you guys, I've got the confidence in you that one-on-one, you can beat any secondary guy in the conference or in the country. So that's the way it is. And on defensively, you're going to struggle. But you got to find a way to win. And as a defensive coordinator, you got to put them in the position where they have an opportunity to win. You got to run the right coverages that they can run, if it's a zone or a man. If you can't cover the receivers, I guess you have to play a zone if they're too fast for you or too big for you. But you got to put them in a position where they can perform. And hard for me to tell how they did, but I think they played better. They were more sounder. I thought the linebackers played better. And, I've been pretty critical of the linebackers since last spring. So that's how I feel about this. And the kicking game.
Yeah.
Let me tell you that place kicker,
Ryan Sayeri. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you something. He may have been a backup, okay, but in my book, he's not a backup.
No.
That guy is Mr. Automatic. Okay, I would call him automatic. Get in there, automatic, because he is.
Yeah, 14 of 15 on the season, a ton of touchbacks. He did have one kick out of bounds. Nebraska had a kickoff return for a touchdown, and USC gave one up to Notre Dame. So I think they were really trying to prevent the big returns on this one. But he had a 49-yarder, which was big, especially when points were at a premium. He hit the short one when USC got the false start. Yeah, that was the other thing, Coach. There was some penalties, I think, that hurt USC. Both field goals early on. USC got offensive penalties. DeCarlos Nicholson got that one. I think that led to Nebraska's field goal. There was a pass interference that led to. Now, Marcellus Williams played well. He defended a lot of passes. They were picking on him a lot, but he had that one pass interference. I think that led to the second touchdown, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, there were some critical penalties in this one that sort of hurt USC's efforts. And they had, I think, 8 penalties to Nebraska's 4. But those are the kind of games that USC was losing before. So you can do that and overcome some of those penalties and win. That matters too.
It does. And, now they have to get ready to play on a Friday night. And I wouldn't make a big deal out of it. What I mean is, okay, so you have one less day to prepare. Well, Northwestern's got to fly out here too, so they've got to travel on a Friday night or come out on a Thursday or whatever day they're coming out to play us. It's at our home stadium. We're going to line up and kick their butts, send them back to Chicago, and we're going to have an extra day for the weekend. So I'm just going to say you can't say, oh, we got one less day, or we got this, we got that. You got to be positive. Okay, we play Friday. That's great. We can get it done. Enjoy it. Let's go out and one less day of practice. Let's go out and get it done. Let's kick their butt. But they're not a good football team. I mean, really. I mean, I don't consider them a bad team or bad people. But if you're trying to get in the playoffs, as everyone's talking about, shouldn't you be able to beat Northwestern? So who are you trying to kid telling us one less day of preparation and all this and that? I mean, just go out.
He took a little shot at the Big Ten, yeah.
Yeah, well, what the hell are we talking about, okay? I mean, come on, Lincoln Riley. I mean, you're playing big-time football now, and I know at Oklahoma you play big-time football. But, hey, there's teams you're supposed to say, my X is bigger than your O, okay? And if I don't screw it up, we're going to kick your ass. And I'm going to tell you that right now. And if you don't like it, I'll kick your ass at halftime.
Nice.
You know what I mean? I remember I almost got in a fight with a coach at Fresno State. And we were standing out there, and we both had the same colors, sort of. So we were standing out there. I said, God, our team travels well. And he said, what do you mean? Those are our fans. I said, bullshit. Those are all Rebel fans. Your fans, our guys bought your tickets. Your guys sold your tickets. That's why they're here. You got to even realize your fans don't even care. They sold their tickets. And he got all huffy and puffy and so on. So before the game, I went in and told our team that story. So I said, now let's go out there and show them just why the people came out. So now let's disappoint all those guys. He thinks it's his. And, you make these little things to get your kids fired up, and you do these things. And I'm one of those type of guys. Emotion is big for me, you can tell, and getting a team ready to play is big for me. And always turn a negative to a positive. I always turn a negative to a positive in life. Because why? What are you going to dwell on negative thing? Hey, let's go on. Next play. Hurry up. Call it.
Yeah. Before we take a break and get some questions, I do want to ask you about that, Coach, because coming out of the first bye week, USC played really well against Michigan. All phases. Did a great job. And this is a different situation. It's a road game. But they had a loss on the road. The first one was to Illinois going to bye, and then they beat up Michigan. And that's their only Big Ten loss right now. And then they, play poorly against Notre Dame, bye again. Now, a road game to Nebraska, and they go 3 and out to start the game twice. Like, we haven't seen something like that from this USC offense. Is it? I mean, typically you don't have 2 bye weeks, certainly like 3 weeks apart. But it seemed like USC came out of the first bye week, like, ready. And the second bye week sort of like almost like they were trying to catch up on sleep or something. And I don't know. It didn't seem like the same sort of effort, I guess, coming out of the second bye week as it did the first. And I don't know what you thought about that.
Well, I think it was a tough week for them. They came back from Notre Dame, and it wasn't an easy week. Everybody was critical on why they lost and this and that and play calling and all the different things. They couldn't stop the run, and it was too negative, and you didn't have a chance to play and get it back, get your win, and get it over with. All right, eventually those paper guys and you and me have to talk about the next opponent. We can't just sit around and talk about what went wrong. And these kids sometimes didn't have a chance to, I used to say, go put your head in a whirlpool, son. And don't be coming in here complaining. Here's a T-shirt. It says "Poor Me" on it. I used to have a T-shirt, "Poor Me." Just wait till your opportunity comes, and let's go out there and play. And I don't need any locker room lawyers, or I don't need coaches second guessing what we're doing. We don't have to have administrators second second guessing what we're doing because you're paying me good bucks to coach this team. If you don't think I can coach this team, then get somebody else. And it certainly hasn't been a problem in America this year. I think there's 10 or 11 coaches that have been dismissed so far, and there's going to be a couple more. I don't want to mention who they are. So it's a great year as far as, I don't know, people expect you to win, and there's a lot of money being paid these coaches from colleges. And then, of course, over at the Rose Bowl, our friends UCLA, I mean, they are deciding that the Rose Bowl is the reason they're not winning, okay? And their attendance is down because it's the Rose Bowl's fault. Well, if they put a product on the field, people would go watch them, okay? So I think they ought to look at themselves and their administration and what they've done in hiring and all the way up before they start criticizing the Rose Bowl. And I'm hot on that because I'm on the Legacy Foundation for the Rose Bowl, on how they can say they're going to make a move somewhere else when they're playing in the granddaddy of them all, the Rose Bowl game, okay? So they can go over now to SoFi, and you got the Rams over there. You got the Chargers over there. You got Taylor Swift over there. You got all these people over there, and where are they going to be? Who knows them? And tailgating there ought to be a great experience.
Coach, I was going to, before we take the break, I was going to sort of ask about that. What have you heard on that side? I haven't dove into this very much. It was kind of a weird thing for that to hear that. I'm like, they want to get out of this Rose Bowl contract because it goes for like 20 more years. Is it possible? Like, is that something you think?
Nope.
You don't think it's
a solid contract, okay? I know that. Solid contract. And what they did is they didn't follow the contract because they are so in debt. You know, they're $219 million in debt in the athletic department at UCLA. That's because of great, smart administration, okay? And that's because of great hiring of coaches and athletic directors that are from out of the world, maybe from somewhere else in the world. It's never been past the Mississippi River before they came and became the athletic administrator at USC. The interim president extends the athletic director's contract because he's only $219 million in debt before he leaves and retires. And you look at Chip Kelly, who came to UCLA, didn't refuse to recruit, refused to speak at anything. We go and hire a coach, and I like Deshaun Foster, okay? I like him as a person. I mean, but you hire a guy that, and I know people who wanted that job. That's what I'm saying. And you hire a guy to bring him in a position where it's almost impossible for him to win. They tell him who to hire as assistant coaches. He didn't know who to hire. He had never been a coordinator or anything else, just a great hero and a great player at UCLA. Well, that's tough. And, he made his appearance at the Big Ten media day and embarrassed himself in UCLA, and it's not his fault. Didn't know what to say. He had to explain to people where UCLA was located in Los Angeles. I mean, that was their problem. And so, it's going to cost them a lot of money if they decide to move because they're going to break a contract and they're going to get sued. They're being sued already, okay?
Yeah.
And it's not just them. It's the chancellors. Everybody's being sued, okay? And wait till the damages come involved. The damages to the Rose Bowl, the image of the Rose Bowl, the lack of income now to the city of Pasadena for restaurants, hotels, all of these other things. Could be a nice package. And Rose Bowl might be happy they're gone because they could pay off all their bills, okay? Pay off all their bills and then go to some special things, what I won't tell you on here, that would make it the granddaddy of them all.
Oh, all right. Nice. Well, thanks, Coach. We're going to get a little insight there. I haven't dug into it much. I got to talk to David Woods, my partner on the Podcast of Champions. He covers UCLA. I'm sure he'll have some info on that. But
well, yeah, ask him about that.
I will for sure.
Is the press box better at SoFi?
I don't know. I haven't been in the press box there. I got to check it out.
Well, have you ever been there?
I've been to SoFi once, but not in the press box or anything. Yeah.
Are you going to go back?
Maybe. I guess. I don't know.
Okay.
I usually go to the Rose Bowl more, obviously, but.
Oh, obviously,
yeah.
It's a college stadium over there. It's nice.
Yeah.
But you're going to watch the game on TV.
Yeah.
If you go there. So why don't you just watch it at home, right?
Yeah. All right, well, let's take a quick break and we'll come back and do some questions. All righty, we're back here on the Peristyle Podcast. I'm talking with the coach, Harvey Hyde. Got a bunch of questions to get to. Got some voicemails and some text messages. We're going to get the coach's thoughts on that. Before we do, I just want to let you know about our friends over at MyBookie. You get some action. You like betting games on the weekends for football. Maybe it's Sunday, maybe it's NFL stuff, but you don't have to wait for Sunday. You're missing half the fun and half the money. College football is cooking, as you know. We're getting towards the latter half of the season. There's all kinds of upsets going on. Blowouts. We've seen coaches get fired. Wild covers. MyBookie lets you hit on it all. Game lines, player props, and more. Everything you need before the pros even kick off. When Sunday rolls around, you're already up. MyBookie's got it all under one roof. You can win big on the NFL Super Contests and Survivor Pools. And if you're new to MyBookie, we have a promo code, Peristyle, like the Peristyle Podcast. Any bet you choose up to $500 will be fully covered. So if you bet it doesn't hit, you can get your money back with their Bet Back bonus token, and that's with the promo code Peristyle. So make sure you check that out if you're new over to MyBookie. MyBookie, where bettors win together, because bragging's good, but cashing is better. All right. Well, Coach, we got some voicemails. Some of the regular customers we got. Why don't we start with our buddy Curtis?
Hey, Ryan, I'm tired of hearing these excuse makers that are against USC and for Nebraska about their quarterback getting hurt, and that's the reason that they lost the game. Well, I'm sure it contributed, but, you know, he didn't get hurt walking into the stadium tripping on the stairs. It was a sack. He fumbled and was hurt. And before the game started, Maava had been sacked 5 times this season. Raiola, 28. If you get hit that much, you're going to get hurt. Sorry to break this news to you. USC has something to do with him getting hurt. Too bad. Curtis from Moreno Valley.
Oh,
Yeah.
Curtis.
Yeah, unfortunately, he's out for the season.
Curtis.
Yeah, he's out
fired
for the
up.
season too.
Hey, Curtis, you're exactly right. Don't get me wrong. It's always terrible when you lose a quarterback or any kid to any type of injury. But you've got to protect your quarterback. It wasn't done on purpose and so on. It did make a difference in the game. You have to admit that whenever you lose your starting quarterback. But it's not an excuse for why the Trojans won the football game, okay? And I think that's the best way to explain it. I think if you think about it for a moment, you got it out of your system. I love having you call. But, yes, you're right. 28 sacks, that's quite a number. And if I was coaching the offensive line or whatever, I'd have one of my linemen stand back there and hold the ball up in the air, and I'd tell the offensive line, nobody block. Let them find out what it feels like.
I love it, Coach. We got a text message from Marcel in the Inland Empire. He says, when watching the Nebraska podcast in reaction on YouTube after the game, they felt that USC was not dominant and that they escaped. How do we flip that? I'm not sure it matters, Marcel, if you're going to watch what Nebraska people are saying about the game, but you win the game. That's the most important thing.
Yeah,
they were not dominant for sure, though. They weren't dominant.
No, you're right. The thing I used to say is, hey, guys, I want to win ugly if I have to, but I just want to win. And sometimes you have to win ugly. Sometimes you don't play well, you drop passes, you have penalties, and so on. But great football teams overcome ugly games, ugly plays. When you can't do one thing, the other part of your team takes over. You get turnovers, you get fumbles, you run the football rather than pass the football. You find a way to win. And this is why I'm saying everybody's got to be on the same page on the offensive side and the defensive side. If it takes 5 field goals to win the football game, we're going to win the football game. And then we're going to take our pizza back in the plane and fly home and have a party and get ready for the next one. So I think it's always great to look good and be dominant. You want to, but you've spent so much time for this hour of exhibition that you play that means so much now with the playoffs and bowl games and everything. But remember, it's not the stats. It's the only left-hand column that counts, and that's the scoreboard. And when you look at the scoreboard, you want you to be the winner, not the loser. So sometimes you got to learn to win it ugly, and you do win ugly. And it just happens that way. You get outstated, you do everything, but you win the game. And you say, we'll take it.
Yeah. Our buddy Don, he's never usually not that happy, Coach. And he's, again, not very happy, but I'll play his voicemail and see what you think.
Hey, it's Don from Chicago. Well, another signature road win for the Trojans. Yeah, right. I'm just kidding. Another absolutely piss-poor performance. And let's face it, there's no way we win that game if their starting quarterback stays in and doesn't get injured. I mean, once again, horrible play calling by Lincoln Riley. We're gashing them with the run, and then we get inside the 10-yard line and we throw 3 passes. And again, terrible penalties. And where was our passing game? It was 0, nothing. It's the same old stuff. And Notre Dame showed us 2 weeks ago what a good team looks like. They pounded us. They crushed us. So all this stuff about us improving and a signature win and a step in the right direction, I'm sorry. Coach, tell me if I'm wrong. Tell me if I'm wrong. But it's the same old mediocrity. Don from Chicago.
Well, Don, I do agree with you in a lot of areas. First of all, when you're running the football and you're having success off the football, then you want to complete the series and you want all your passing game to come off the run. Because now they can't stop it all, and they really don't know if it's run or pass, and it makes it tough on them. So when I'm having success running the football, as they were having, then I would have all my passing game coming off of play action pass to keep the people back off the line of scrimmage. And if they come up to make a tackle, you have your guy go at them to stock block them and run by them. You run drags, you run corners, you put your backs in the flat with a corner route and a deep corner route coming back from the backside. You start doing things that comes off of the run with your passing game. And you don't really see that. You don't see a rhythm as far as completing the series. Now, what they started to do is by running Jaden in the second half, they started to put something into the series. They gave him the carry to football. He got 62 yards running the football. It opened up the running game more and so on. But you got to throw the passing game in there at the same time. You just don't all of a sudden drop back and throw this or throw that for no reason, and you have 2 receivers in the same spot, and you're throwing in the double coverage. And the reason you're getting away with throwing in the double coverage is you've got such great receivers who are making great plays, like that power pitch back pass that the great, who was it? It was whoever caught that ball, number 15 on the sideline.
Jaden Richardson, yeah.
Yeah, what a great catch
that was.
I mean, really, those are 90 to 10 chances that's going to work, okay? But it worked. So it becomes a great play. But I don't think you have to go to that type of stuff and try to trick people when you got the horses to line up and say, you can't stop everything. If you're going to do this, we're going to do that. If you do that, we're going to do this. We're going to make you cover the whole field offensively, across, and also in the secondary, and from goal line to goal line.
All right, Coach. Let me pull up. Sorry, I just got to pull up the other screen there. We have a text message. Sir Eric of Troy, your friend, is our friend, says, hey, Ryan, I have a question for the coach. Before I ask, I'd like to comment on how great the Nebraska fans were. I've been to 25 or so away stadiums in my time, but never before have I met fans that went out of their way like this to welcome me to their town. Hardly anyone passed me on the street without a smile or welcome comment or high five. Previously, it was Auburn, but Nebraska has them beat. Now, my question, Coach, what in the world happened to Jaden's mechanics? Was it the cold weather, the bye week got him out of rhythm, or what? So many passes were high or in the dirt or off target. I've never seen an SC starter play like that before. And why does he consistently want to throw a pass when he is 2 inches from the ground? Just take the sack rather than a pick or an intentional grounding. That's bad coaching. What do you think was wrong? Thanks for your answer. Your buddy, Sir Eric of Troy.
Well, he's the kid's really trying to win and doing whatever he can to save a play. I call it save a play, where you try to get something out of it and you throw the ball when you shouldn't throw the ball and you get intentional grounding, or the guy hits your arm and it becomes a fumble or so on. So he's just trying to save a play, and when you try to save a play, you make more mistakes than if you just throw the ball out of bounds. Okay, just call it as an incomplete pass. And as far as his passing inconsistency, it's been there always. It's been there always. Turnovers has been his biggest problem. We know that from last year's and so on. So you want to make it a lot easier for him than harder for him. You simplify the passing game. You make it, you notice they don't run hardly any motion. They don't do anything to help him with the secondary and what the coverages are and so on. Not that he doesn't know, obviously, from the preparation for the game. So, you've got to make it simple for him so that it's either 1, 2, 3. And if it's not there, throw it away or run the football, because you don't want anything else bad to happen. You don't have to score a touchdown in every play. You just have to move the football. And if you have to run the football to get 5 yards or whatever, don't look for the home run every single play. And that's one thing that they look for at SC in their passing game. They love the big play. They love the big play. So they keep trying that all the time, and that puts a lot of pressure on. And I want to tell you, he can throw a great deep pass.
Yeah.
He can really drill the ball in there. So that's not what he can't do. But it's difficult to do that all the time.
I was looking at the you mentioned take off and run. He had I think it was actually 10 rushes. He was sacked once, so I think that counts as one of his. Oh no, he had sacked a few times. But the stat line has him 11 rushes for 62 yards and a touchdown. He didn't run the ball hardly at all the last couple games, and then in this one, it seemed like it was part of the game plan. We've tried to ask about it, and it just seems to, they're not really commenting on, Lincoln Riley would talk about the decision-making he was making, but it seemed like having him run was part of the game plan for this game, and it was not part of the game plan for like Nebraska or Michigan. I mean, Notre Dame or Michigan. I think it would have helped to have it part of at least for the Notre Dame game, because you needed to get that defense to back off a little bit. But from what you saw, Coach, this was like more of a game plan thing, like, hey, we're going to let him run, as opposed to for Notre Dame, it was like, we're not going to have him run. That's what it felt like.
Well, that's what he says, okay? He just forgot to play, okay? He just forgot to play, but he didn't have it on the little card, or he wasn't paying attention. That play's always there when you run that offense. That's what offense has. It's part of the offense. If you watch teams, if they close down, you run to your inside, you got to run the quarterback. It's part of the series to keep the end spread out, or to run the counter sweep against it, so they think that you handed the ball off to the back going the other way, and then you come out and the tight end comes across and blocks for you. I mean, you can't say it wasn't in the game plan. I mean, that's part of a series, and you hear me keep talking about a series. You run a series which is put together so you know why they're stopping certain things and what you do if they are. So you gotta, if it's in a game plan or not a game plan, I don't know. I mean, I just wanted to ask him at the press conference, did you ask him if they burned the boats?
I didn't bring that up. No, Coach.
Well, why? I would like to know if he felt they burned the boats. Yeah. I mean, I don't know where that came from, but all of a sudden they're burning the boats. So I would have liked to have asked him. See, that's why I don't go to press conferences, because I don't know what he might say to me. Hey, Coach, did you forget to take your matches, or what happened? Did you burn the boats?
Yeah.
I mean, is that something that was for one game, or is that going to be the same the rest of the season?
Yeah, someone else said
that. Because if I'm in the locker room,
yeah,
giving my team a pep talk, and I say, this clown's coming in, telling us that he's going to burn our boats. We don't have a boat in the state of Nebraska. We might have one on the lake, okay?
Yeah.
I mean, he's not even sure where he's going. He's putting us down, going to burn our boats. We're going to show what boats he's going to burn. See, that is bulletin board material. That is bulletin board material. And when you have somebody on, I don't know if you saw it or not, somebody popping a black balloon after the game.
I did see that, yeah.
And saying, this is what we did to him. Who's in charge of this stuff? Who allows people to do that in the athlete department? I mean, the marketing. I mean, all it is bulletin board material. I mean, if I'm Northwestern or if I'm Oregon, don't you think I'm going to show that to my team before the game and other people? I mean, come on, guys. This is not Pop Warner. This is the next thing to professional football.
Yeah.
In fact, today it almost is professional football with the money they're making. So act like professionals.
All right. We got one last
Burn the boats.
Burn those boats. One last voicemail. We'll let you go, Coach.
If you have some guts, you'll ask him that question today.
I'll ask about the boat burning. Okay.
Well, yeah, just ask him how many they burnt.
Okay.
Hey, Peristyle. It's Rick from Vista. I got a question for you. I looked at the stats, or actually the standings, and it shows that Louisville's got a better record and is ranked higher than we are. Does that mean that Miller Moss is a better quarterback than Maeva? I mean, obviously, we all know the answer to that would be Maeva, but I thought it was interesting. I was watching their game right now, and it showed 4th and 1, and they were going to do an option play, and Moss tried to run it, and he got stuffed a yard behind where he needed to be. So I thought that was kind of comical. Anyways, I'd like to know your thoughts on the comparison of the two quarterbacks. Thank you. Bye.
Well, that puts you in a position here where you have to do some serious thinking, okay?
Okay.
I think Miller Moss is a more seasoned quarterback, a more experienced quarterback. Was he given the opportunity to really prove that when he was taking that away, when he had, he was a real loyal kid, he didn't move away. He stayed there, Jackson Dart and all these other JT Dan, and these other guys said, see you later. He stayed there and he deserved the opportunity. Now, today, I'm not going to say anything negative against, but I tell you what, that kid's pretty cool, okay? And they've won some big games. And if I was an NFL scout, today, I'd take Miller Moss.
Oh, okay.
Today. I'm talking about today's performance. I'm not what he's going to be or anything else. But as a complete quarterback that's more mature and understands it and can run the offense for me, audible in the line of scrimmage. And I think Mahava is a great kid, but I don't think they give him the opportunity to do what he does the best for him. And that's what bothers me. And I know that they're all going to say, hey, Coach, you're a great second guesser and all this stuff if they listen to it over there. I'm not a second guesser. I want you to win. I want you to be, and this is the way I would handle it. That's all. But I think that you've got to make him a more relaxed football player where he wants to run on the field, not just get up slowly, but run to the sideline on 3rd down of the opponent and say, I'm ready to go back in there. Look forward to it. Be excited about it. Stand next to your coach. Talk to him during the time. And I don't know if they have that type of relationship. I don't know. And I want him to have that. I want him to be great. I do. I want him to have 15 years in the NFL. But you got to bring him along slower. Some kids come along slower so that they're successful. You can't, you don't skip a kid from 1st grade to 6th grade. You got to go along the way and bring him to that point where he can be a great football player.
I got the numbers here. Jaden Mav is really good at home. And I think Miller Moss is more steady, but Jaden's, numbers are better. They both played 8 games. Maava's completing 65.3% of his passes for 2,315 yards. Still averaging 8.9 yards an attempt, 15 touchdowns, and 5 picks. Moss is 65.3, same percentage, but 1,929 yards, averaging a couple yards less per throw, 2.5 yards less per throw, 11 touchdowns, and six picks. And Jaden's been better against conference opponents and all that. So, I mean, his numbers are better for sure than Miller Moss. But I agree with you, Coach. Miller Moss, stuck around a long time until it wasn't going to be his job anymore. And then, he gets benched, and not necessarily it was all his fault or whatever. So, but he's, they're doing well at Louisville. It's like, to see them be 7-1 on the season with that lone loss against Virginia, who's doing really well right now. They got that win over Miami. Yeah, it's impressive to see what they've been able to do. But Jade Milva's numbers are better. Just looking at
them. They're better in their stats, and you got to look at the opponents and everything else. But I was asked a hard question. I mean, I'm just giving you honest, because they're both situations. Because if you change both quarterbacks, you put Miller Moss on this team and send him to Louisville, would Louisville be 7-1? Would USC be 7-1? I don't know that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying it's a good question.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Well, good stuff. Just under the hour. We love it. It's always great to get your insights. Short week this week. Northwestern coming up.
No. Hey, make it, turn a negative to a positive. Friday night game. Isn't that great, folks? Larry Scott did this to us. Remember, it was Larry Scott's idea for Los Angeles to have Friday night games and then play Northwestern, where everybody's fired up to get to the Coliseum for a Northwestern game through the traffic in Southern California for what, a 6 o'clock kickoff?
Yeah.
Take the weekend off. Don't go to work on Friday if you're planning on going to game. Thank you, Larry Scott.
Yeah. So Northwestern's 5-3, 3-2 in conference play. Not bad. They were the worst team in the conference last year. Not anymore. USC's never lost to Northwestern, 5-0. So we'll see if that continues on. We're going to get you guys next week here on
They won't lose to them this week either. Look out.
That would be bad if you lose to this one.
You better not look. That's what I'd tell my coaching staff.
Do not lose this game. Yeah.
I'm gonna tell you, if I survive it, maybe a lot of you won't.
Nice. Well, Coach, good stuff. Thanks for coming back on again, and thanks everyone else for listening and writing in and all that stuff. We appreciate all of it. But for the Coach Harvey Hyde, I'm Ryan Abraham. Hope you enjoyed the show, and we will talk to you next time.